Everyone, this is Kevin from thechesswebsite.com. Today we're going to be continuing our series on trading pieces and when to trade pieces and when not to trade pieces. And in the first video we touched on a very important key concept, and that is when you're up material and you can trade down to a winning end game, go ahead and do that. That's a good time to trade down a material. Today we're going to be going over two more concepts: when to trade and when not to trade. And the first one is if you have a spatial advantage. If you look at here, white has a very distinct spatial advantage. There's not much black can do as far as development. Black's kind of trapped in, and white has a lot of room that they can move, develop. White can castle, can bring his queen, connecting the rooks. A lot of different play that white can do, where black doesn't have that. So what black would want to do, because he has a spatial disadvantage, is he would like to trade off as many pieces as he can, where white is not going to want to trade off pieces. If we take all the pieces off except the pawns, white no longer has quite the advantage. Obviously he has 3 more pawns pushed a little farther, but it's really not a big advantage. But here white has a huge advantage because he has such a big spatial advantage. So in this case, white would not want to trade off pieces, and black would, because it would kind of alleviate some of the pressure. So that's one of the concepts that you should always think about. If you're applying pressure on your opponent and you're kind of squeezing down and they don't have a lot of space to move, you really don't want to trade off pieces. And on the flip side, if you're being squeezed and you can trade off pieces, then that'll kind of give you, alleviate some of that pressure that your opponent's putting on you. So that's the first one. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the second aspect of trading. The next thing to consider when trading is if trading will make one of your existing pieces more powerful, then go ahead and trade. If you take a look at this example for white, and if you recall from a couple videos ago, the outpost video, if you look at this square right here, this E6 square is a very powerful outpost. So we would like our knight to get to this square, or our bishop. It's a very powerful outpost. So with that in mind, where should white move? Take a moment, pause if you need to, figure out what white should do to control this square right here. And hopefully you just come up with the move bishop to H3. Now the bishop can move to E8, but it's going to be the same effect. The knight is going to eventually come to the E6 square. So black can trade off bishops here, and white can now regain. And eventually we're going to put our knight here on the E6 square. And it's a great outpost, as you can recall from past videos. When you can get a knight deep into your opponent's territory, and he can't be captured. If you look at the black knight, it's actually going to take him 3 different moves to get to our knight on E6, and black just doesn't have that much time. We're attacking the rook on F8, we're attacking the queen on D8, and we have just so many possible attacks from this, all because of our trade that we made with our bishop from the H3 square. So again, you may look at this and say, hey, you know, we traded equal material, but our knight is so much better because of the trade that this is a good trade for us. So we'll go ahead and take a look at another example of this. Now along those same concepts, it's black's moves. What would you do? Go ahead and take a minute and look at it. And hopefully if you've been following my videos for some time now, especially the middle game strategies, hopefully some of the concepts that I've been going over are starting to come a little quicker. You're starting to look at stuff and see, hey, I see an outpost here, hey, I should move here. If things are coming to you quicker, that means you're becoming a better chess player. So in this move, hopefully right off the bat, you just saw that there's a great outpost here on the D4 square. And as you probably saw, hopefully, very quickly, this knight here on F3 is defending this outpost on the D4 square. So our best move is going to be to pin the knight down on F3, and then we can trade off. There's nothing white can do here because he can't lose his queen. So I'll just make a random move here for white, and once we capture, no matter how he recaptures, we can bring our knight here to the d4 square, and we have a great outpost. There's nothing white can do to knock this knight off of the d4 square. As you can see, the bishop is a light square bishop. He can't knock him off. The only way to knock him off is to lose material. And this knight here can attack many different places and can basically just sit here all game until he's ready to attack. So hopefully as we're progressing in these examples, they're coming to you quicker and you're learning quite a bit. So those are the three things you need to remember when thinking about trading. The first one is if you're up a great deal in material, trade down to a winning end game. Just simplify things for yourself. 2 is if you have a spatial advantage, you should trade down, or you should not trade down. And if you have a spatial disadvantage, you should trade down. And the last one, if trading down will give one of your existing pieces, make it more powerful, then go ahead and trade down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the videos on when to trade and when not to trade, and look out for some more coming in the near future. Thanks a lot, guys.